So it never stops. Back at it again today. Today's Mother's Day, so good way to wake up the neighbours, all the mothers out there. Good morning, happy Mother's Day. We're getting there. That's pretty much spot on. It's a couple of little tiny little rises. I think there's one here, so we just feel a little bit more sanding will do it. See how you got this different colours here. So that's pretty much flush, but it needs a little tiny bit more. Preferably get rid of all that dark colour. So it's pretty much like that. So it just all blends in, it's all smooth. That way when you throw the paint on, you don't see, well, it won't look like a map of a country going around there. You won't, you know, it's all a little bit one, so when it's done, you don't even notice it was what was there. So compared from that to all this, we're getting pretty good. So I'll snap a photo of that. Done. So we'll start on that one. And then I've been using 80 grit and 120 grit sandpaper. I'm finishing it off with my new multi-tool. So I'm finishing off with the new multi-tool. I've been using 80 grit and 120 grit so far, but the 120 grits, I'm trying to use it for as long as possible, so the more I use it, the finer it's going to get, then it will turn into a more finer paper, in theory. I do have wet and dry sandpaper in there, so I'm going to try and finish off with about a 400 grit. Yeah, it's necessary, yes, because you're going to get these, when you throw your final paint on, especially if you don't have a thick primer, you'll see all these, you'll see sanding marks, and that's what you don't want. And because it's white, well, it's obviously going to stand out a lot more, same as black, it tends to stand out a lot more. So once I throw this paint on, I've gone paint coated the paint, throw that on, it should show me my imperfections anyway, so fingers crossed that it's good. So I'll finish this bottom one off, then I'll prime it, and then we'll paint. Right, those big gouge marks and no more. See, I've done down the side skirt area as well. You still see a couple of imperfections. Paint's still wet too, so that gives it no justice at the moment. I'll have to wait for that paint to dry. But all in all, it's bloody pretty good. Way better than what it was. Way better. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that rear quarter panel. Gonna move on to the tailgate next. I've got some rust to do behind the tailgate. I'll remove the tailgate, remove the side bumpers that are on each side, as the utes don't have the bumper that goes all the way across, so you got the corner part. So I'll take the corners off, tailgate off, number plate off, got a bit under the number plate where the number plate globes are. You got two square globe compartments. There's a bit of rust around that. I ought to fix all that. I'm thinking about just cutting it all out and just covering all that. Ideally, if I had another ute, I'd cut that whole back section out and brought a new one in. I don't have another ute to get lost, so I have to repair it myself. So that's the next job we'll get onto. We've also got under the driver's side door as well. I was going to replace the doors. That time being, I just want to hurry up and get on the road registered, rolling down the road. That way I can move it around, because the wreckers here, they're in other towns, so I've got to travel around, and the Ute's perfect for throwing parts in, so I'll get it done. Still got to put the clutch in. I've been pretty lazy. I should be doing that before anything, but I'll get on to doing that. The only thing to stop me from doing that is I've got to get the oil, because I might as well service it while I'm doing the gearbox. Also, with the VS gearboxes, it's weird. When you drop the tail shaft, you unbolt it from the diff, and you also unbolt it from behind the gearbox. Other tail shafts just pull out. Well, he's got this big rubber spacer between where it hooks up to the gearbox, so behind the gearbox, there's a big rubber circly thing with all these holes around, and then bolts into that. It's got a big split going through it, so I have to replace that too, so I'm also waiting to get that. I'll go get all that done, get the parts I need, and I'll be videoing pretty much that step by step of replacing the clutch and the gearbox. So bear with me, and hopefully soon I'll have another video for you.